Metro News Talkline, we're back at the upper rotunda of the West Virginia State Capitol. Loaded show coming up today, so let's not waste any time. We are underway.
Do not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded. We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
From the studios of WVRC Media and the Metro News Radio and Television Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful show in West Virginia. This is Metro News Talkline with Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows.
Check lineup link. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Q Dave and TJ. You're on. Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Welcome to the AARP broadcast location, Upper Rotunda, the West Virginia State Capitol, where we will be live for the next couple of days. Dave and TJ coming up. We got a loaded show. Senator Mike Woelfel will drop by, Delegate Joe Statler, Chairman of the House Education Committee, Brad McElhinny, Chazz Nuttycombe from State Navigate, and Mark Manchin, President, Glenville State University, will join us. So lots to jump into today. Good morning, TJ.
Good morning, sir. It's great to be here.
Let's jump right in because we have a ton of stuff to get to through the show today. Joining us on set this morning, Berkeley County Senator and Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Tom Willis. Tom, good to see you again. Thanks for stopping by.
You bet. Good morning, gentlemen. Good to see you.
It's getting close to the halfway mark. Do you get the sense intensity is going to pick up here very shortly?
I think it will. I know on the Senate side, we had a few first-time committee chairs, including myself as the new chair of the Judiciary Committee. And so I think talking just with some of the senators, we wanted to run some bills, get our feet underneath of us, and get ready for the slugfest, that will be potentially the second half of the session. So I know for me personally, we're going to have some controversial CPS bills, hopefully on the agenda next week. I know we talked about this before session as one of my priorities. And we're going to have the public come in. I'm sure the state agency is going to have an opinion on that. So we're going to hear from some parents that have been affected. So I think it's going to pick up. And second, I'm predicting the second half is going to be a little bit more spicy.
But is it controversy or is it debate? Controversy is not a bad thing. An adversarial system is not a bad thing. I think that's what our founders had in mind.
I agree. I mean, you guys have seen me on the floor. Typically, if there's a conservative position and there's any disagreement at all, usually I get tapped as the conservative attorney to champion it on the floor, and I enjoy it. So certainly not opposed to it. And you're right, it is part of the process, and that's how we come out with a better product for the people of West Virginia.
Speaking of some debate, there was some debate on the Senate floor yesterday on Senate Bill 615, which did pass 32-2. That would require law enforcement agencies around the state to transfer any person identified as an illegal immigrant to federal authorities. Why do we need the bill, first of all?
Well, that's not quite accurate the way that you just characterized the bill. So let me just clarify, if I may. Just a slight nuance. So they're not required to transfer the person. They're required to notify and cooperate with. So I saw that came out in the article yesterday, too, and it was not a quite accurate representation of the bill. So what happened in 2023, we had a no sanctuary city bill pass, and that bill said no local government entity or agency can prohibit cooperation with a law enforcement agency. And so this bill just went a little bit further with everything that's going around the country. We've all seen what's happening in Minneapolis and other places. This one just says that the local government will notify and cooperate with immigration and customs enforcement.
Play devil's advocate. I'm the kind of guy, I want just as many laws as it takes, I tell Dave all the time, to make sure water comes out of the tap. 650 people were rounded up, cooperation between ICE and local authorities without this bill. Do we need it? It sounds like we're doing what we need to do already.
That's right, but thank goodness we have a conservative governor in Governor Morrissey, but there's no guarantee that in the future we won't have a governor that's cooperating with the federal authorities. But more than that, we do have municipalities around the state or police agencies that might be tempted at some point in the future, depending on who's in office, to create a policy or a local government rule that says we're not going to cooperate. So we're not going to prohibit, but we're not going to cooperate. So we'll just kind of sit on our hands and play dumb. This bill just says, no, you've got a duty to notify. You've got a duty to cooperate. No matter whether you're on the left side or the right side, everybody's got a duty to cooperate and to help enforce federal law.
We're talking to Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Tom Willis. Do local law enforcement agencies have the resources to be able to run that kind of information? Let's say you pull somebody over a traffic stop or somebody's arrested. Do they have the resources to be able to run that information and make that determination that this individual needs to be referred to ICE?
Yeah, it's nothing that they're not already doing. This just says keep doing it, really. Mm-hmm. I mean, so again, they can't, the local, state level law enforcement can't pull someone over because they suspect an immigration violation. But they can arrest them for any other violation of the criminal code. And then during that process, if they have a suspicion, so they're making a determination on their immigration status. It's not an adjudication, but it's above a suspicion but less than an adjudication. So if they make that determination that, wait a second, this person doesn't seem to have, citizenship status, at that point they notify federal authorities, and then the federal authorities are the ones that come in and actually start the process to make an adjudication, a final decision on whether they have immigration status or not.
This came up on the floor yesterday. If the police get it wrong, should they be liable? Should we be able to sue them if they get it wrong?
Well, the only criteria here under this bill is to notify and cooperate. And so if the only way you could get it wrong is to intentionally fail to notify or intentionally fail to cooperate.
What if they're not illegal? They thought they were, police officer pulled somebody over, person's not illegal, they get ICE involved, person's not illegal, and they've went through this process. Shouldn't we be able to seek some kind of justice and whatever's available to us in the court system and sue the police?
Absolutely. This bill doesn't do anything to diminish the rights of the person in that situation.
Okay. Is that the system working, or would that be the system, a flaw in the system? Somebody suspected, courts work it out, you end up being found that you are a legal immigrant in the country. Is that the system working, or is that a broken system?
I mean, the way you just described it sounds like the system working to me.
Run us through the process. You are an attorney. Run us through the process. So if there's a suspicion, when I go before a judge, somebody has to defend that probable cause, right? It has to be established, and a judge has to say, yes, you had probable cause, and if they didn't, it's dismissed. Am I right in my thinking on that?
Well, right. So I guess practically for the listeners here, again, a state police officer, county sheriff can't arrest somebody because they think they have an immigration status. It has to be for some other violation of state criminal law. So they have probable cause for that. And then along the way, they realize that there may be an issue with immigration status. So at that point, they would notify ICE, and then ICE will come in and work the case. And then if they have probable cause to believe there's an immigration violation, then ICE would proceed with the adjudication process and take it to court.
Talking to Tom Willis, he's Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman and Senator from Berkeley County. Senate Bill 30 will be up for a third reading on the Senate floor today. That would allow 18 to 20-year-olds to constitutionally conceal carry without a permit, which 21 and older can in West Virginia. Why do we need this bill?
Building a stronger West Virginia isn't just a dream, it's a mission.
I don't know what that was. But why do we need this bill? Why should 18 to 20-year-olds have that ability as well as the 21 and over?
I think the real question is, why should they not have the ability? This is the only that I'm aware of, the only constitutional right that's not granted to all adults in the United States. And so it just seemed like an artificial limit. We trust our 18-year-olds, I mean even 17-year-olds, to serve in the military and die for our country. We trust them to become police officers and make life or death situations. I think that as leaders, as a senator, I want to engender a culture of responsibility in West Virginia, and I want us to grow men. And I want to grow men they turn 18 and they're responsible enough to have these privileges and responsibilities, and it's in the Constitution. And the other thing to think about is the ones that we're worried about, right, that won't handle this responsibility, won't handle this right responsibly, they're going to do it anyway. They're going to ignore the law. And so we should give this right to those that are going to abide by the law, and the ones that are going to break the law are going to break the law anyway. But it just shows respect, and we need to grow men in West Virginia. That's the bottom line.
Should we broaden the conversation? Because I agree with you. At 18 years old, I can own property. I can vote. I can own a business. I can execute a contract and be held liable for that. Should I be able to drink if I want at 18?
That's a good question. We'll have to hear the pros and the cons of the debate on that. I spend a lot of time living in Europe, and it's perfectly normal for them to have teenagers drinking wine with them at dinner. There's both sides of the argument. Can you handle this responsibly? I've lived in cultures and lived in countries where, they grow up responsibly drinking with their parents, friends, and family, and then when they turn 18 or 21, they don't go crazy because they've had it's been open to them the whole time. So there's this funny thing in human nature about always wanting to do something that you're not allowed to do. And so it's a conversation worth having, whether we're creating an incentive to rebel here.
Well, they're either adults or they're not. I mean, they're either adults or they're not.
Mm-hmm. Senator Tom Willis joining us here at the AARP broadcast location. What else are you working on as we approach the halfway mark of the 60-day session?
We're working on trying to make West Virginia more business-friendly, and I'm specifically focused on the independent contractor code because right now I think it leans towards it leans against businesses and classifying folks as employees when it should be easier just to hire an independent contractor and move on without the government getting too involved. CPS reform, like we talked about, and then of course we're going to be working on the the debate over the governor's tax cut, income tax cut. That's going to be hot and heavy this next couple of weeks. So it's going to be action-packed.
Where are you at on that? You have a leaning?
I support the governor's income tax cut. I always want to cut taxes, and we've got to remain competitive with our neighboring states. I've heard some other good ideas, though, reducing the marriage penalty tax in lieu of the income tax, and I've heard some other, cut property taxes, personal property. So, it's a win-win-win as far as I'm concerned because I like to see taxes cut, government reduced in size. But I think on this one, I think we're leaning towards supporting the governor's income tax, and I certainly support it personally.
I wonder, you mentioned the marriage penalty, and we talked to Senate Finance Chairman Jason Barrett. Well, it's been a couple of weeks ago now, but I wonder if there is a compromise because there are some who are very, very cautious. Don't want to take too big of a bite too quickly and get the state in trouble. So I'm curious to see if something like that comes to fruition here over the next couple of weeks and picks up some steam or not.
Yeah, and again, guys, I'm not an expert on the finance side of the house. I'm on the judiciary side, but I think the main thing is to make sure that we don't use one-time dollars for a baseline expense item so that the one-time dollars disappear next year, but we still get that baseline expense that really puts a cramp on the budget. So I think we're responsibly trying to work through that and make sure we've got a sustainable winning budget for West Virginia, not just this year, but moving forward as well.
Saw some of the school systems got in trouble, frankly. They used one-time COVID dollars.
Exactly.
And now they are where they are. I think you would agree, though. There has to be some kind of tax. I mean, we have to have some level of government service, obviously, and that has to be provided for. Shrinking government aside. When you hear people, Jason Barrett brought up the idea, he called them sin taxes, I'll call them consumption taxes, whether that's a vape or looking at gaming or different things. How do you fall philosophically on that?
Well, first of all, I absolutely agree. There needs to be tax, sure. We have to have a government. I'm not an anarchist by any stretch. But, and
I wasn't suggesting you were.
Well, there's a couple key functions that people expect from government. I mean, this is not an inclusive list, but you've got to have a reliable judiciary system to settle disputes between people. You've got to have reliable infrastructure, roads, water, sewer, et cetera. And there's others, but so you have to have taxes. The crux of the question, though, is how can you make government as efficient as possible? And then guys like me that are business guys, I look at it. How do you cut the dead weight? You want your productive people, you want to pay them well and reward them. Your non-productive people and the dead weight, you want to give an incentive to agency heads to find those persons and maybe encourage them to retire early and that sort of thing. You got to have taxes, but government. I've worked in enough. I've been in the Department of Defense for 26 years. I've worked for Federal Communications Commissions. I worked for the Federal Commerce Department. And so I can tell you without a doubt that every department, no matter what they tell you, there's always a little bit of fat that can be trimmed. So.
Those golden hammers exist over on some of those agencies, that's for sure. Hey, Appreciate you stopping by. Thanks so much, and we'll see what happens second half of the session here.
Sounds good, gentlemen. Thanks.
Senator Tom Willis, Berkeley County Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman, and he is running for the Republican nomination for U.S. Senate. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. We appreciate it, Tom. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate
Mike
you.
Woelfel joins us next. This is Talkline from the AARP broadcast location.
Building a stronger West Virginia isn't just a dream, it's a mission. The High Technology Foundation knows economic diversity is the key. For over 30 years, they've been dedicated to transforming the state's economic landscape. Conveniently located in the heart of West Virginia, innovation, growth, opportunity, all under one roof. There's no need to look far for change. It's happening right here at the High Technology Foundation in North Central West Virginia. Visit WVHTF.org to learn more.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
Coal-based generation remains the backbone of West Virginia's energy portfolio, ensuring reliability, security, and affordable electricity throughout the region. Our coal plants are engineered for performance, designed to run most efficiently at or near a 70% capacity factor. This level of operation is not arbitrary. It's based on sound engineering principles, scientific analysis, and has been formally adopted by the West Virginia Legislature as a reasonable target for optimal performance. When our coal fleet operates near that benchmark, it provides stable power to the grid, maintains cost efficiency, and supports thousands of good-paying jobs across our state. Coal generation also drives local tax revenue that sustains schools, infrastructure, and community services. Working in partnership with state leaders and the Trump administration, we're ensuring that our coal fleet remains modern, efficient, and ready to power West Virginia and beyond for decades to come. This message brought to you by the West Virginia Coal Association and Friends of Coal.
Hi, I'm Chris Lawrence. Make plans to join me at the Mountain State's premier fishing, hunting, and outdoor sports show presented by Can-Am, Saturday and Sunday, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown. Over 200 vendor booths and 100,000 square feet of everything outdoors, all under one roof. Great prizes, seminars, and kids fish for free in the Academy Sports Trout Pond. It's the 24th annual West Virginia Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Show, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown. A WVRC media event.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Across West Virginia, hospitals are always here, healing, helping, and standing strong for our communities. Hospitals save lives and build livelihoods. They're among our largest employers, with a passionate workforce of 54,000 West Virginians. Hospitals are economic drivers, contributing close to $17 billion to our state's economy and working to ensure access to care for all. From life-saving moments to wellness support, West Virginia hospitals keep our state healthy, our families strong, and our future bright.
New year, new trucks. Start your year off with a new truck from Dan Cava Toyota World. Now lease a 2025 Tacoma for as low as $299 a month. Save over $7,500 off on select Tundras or get 2.99% for 72 months. It's your last chance to get a gas model 2025 RAV4. Don't miss out. Come experience cars you can count on year after year. Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road.
Poca Valley has proudly served the citizens of Roane, Kanawha, Putnam, and surrounding counties for over a century. As your trusted community bank, we're committed to building relationships and meeting your financial needs. And with the Poca Valley Visa card, you can enjoy competitive interest rates, no annual fees, and a rewarding points program, all from a bank you know and trust. Visit your local Poca Valley office to apply or call us. Poca Valley, where relationships matter. Member FDIC.
West Virginia. Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Cabell County Cabell County Senator and Senate Minority Leader Mike Woelfel joining us here at the ARP broadcast location. Mike, every day I bring Brad McElhinny on the show and I ask, Brad, what's happening and not happening in the legislature? I'll pose the question to you, Mike. What's happening and what's not happening in the legislature this year? Good morning, by the way.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. You guys are great. Listen to your show every day as I come in. What's not happening is substance. What is happening is overall substance, and what is happening is people running for election or re-election. So we see bills that are performative in nature, the Bible, other bills that we don't have enough time to get into today, but West Virginia is 49th in workforce development or participation, 50th in household income. I could go on and on. We haven't done anything to wrestle with public education, nothing substantive. The issues in foster care, child poverty, pay raises for teachers and school service personnel, PEIA. What we're doing is we're having bills run by committee chairs that are on the ballot. You might have just had somebody on that might be on a ballot.
That bill was performative yesterday?
What's the penalty for what's the penalty for a state trooper who's going to look the other way when he has reason to believe that somebody is?
I'm not aware of one.
Okay. And so it looks good. It makes good reading. But, I'm glad to see ICE taking people into custody. I support our law enforcement. I've always been endorsed by law enforcement every time I've run. I believe our law enforcement will do their job. I don't think they need a meaningless statute to tell them to go out and do their job and arrest people that are here illegally. I think it's performative, frankly. But we can do a lot better. We can do substance. That's what we're here for, and not simply re-election or election. And I sound cynical and almost bitter, but, man, we're here to help the people of West Virginia move forward, and we aren't doing that, frankly, and it's got me upset.
The House is moving some things. They're hitting singles over in the House. No home runs, but solid singles with some of the bills. When do we see some of these things move over on the Senate side?
First of all, tip my hat to Roger in the House, the Speaker, and his House leadership. They're doing good work. They're working on these foster care bills. They're helping these children. So tip the hat to the House. I don't know. I see that we're moving another immigration bill here in the Judiciary Committee. The guest that was on just ahead of me is moving another one. So I just think we have very fundamental problems in our state. People need to get to work, and we need to help that. We're not doing anything or even talking about child care. Child care is an investment for people that want to work. And I don't mean the state's got to pay it all, but child care, if you've got a transitionary couple that wants to get out there and get to work, they may need a little help with child care. Child care can be as expensive as college tuition.
We've got to have you back when we have some more time.
I love that, yeah.
Because I want to talk about the high school transfer rule, which is near and dear. I know that the House Ed was dealing with that yesterday. 10 seconds. You've got a bill about it.
I've got Senate Bill 122. We're going to get a bill. We are going to stop. Listen to this. A student goes to one high school. He plays soccer, and then the next week he's playing basketball. He's a senior.
We got to run. Mike, thank you very much. Appreciate it, buddy.
All right.
Talkline on Metro News, Voice of West Virginia.
News, I'm Jeff Jenkins. A death in a silver alert case.
The search for a missing 84-year-old Preston County man ended tragically Monday. Willard DeWitt was found in his upside-down truck in the Youghiogheny River Monday. State police learned his Toyota truck emitted a cellular signal, and they made sweeps in the county using electronic equipment to attempt to find DeWitt, but it was too late. Police said weather conditions and his medical issues may have contributed to the crash. I'm Mike Nolting for WVMetroNews.com.
If and when the bill altering high school sports transfer rules in West Virginia makes it back before the House Education Committee, it appears it will have some significant changes from the original bill that got its first hearing Monday. Education Committee Chairman Joe Statler making no predictions, only to say there will be discussions toward consensus.
I can't give you a definitive answer on that other than we will continue to work on this to try to come up to an agreement that we can work with it is the best for the students and the athletes of the state of West Virginia. That's all I care about.
More about the original bill at WVMetroNews.com. Today is Glenville State University Day at the state capitol. Glenville State President Mark Manchin, other university officials, professors, students are meeting with lawmakers and displaying programs and accomplishments in the upper rotunda. You're listening to Metro News. For 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Come on, Liam, let's go. Get open. Come on, go for it. Wake up, Liam. Oh, come on, use your head. Gotta want it. Dominate.
There he goes again. Liam's dad yelling from the stands, trying to relive his glory days.
I know. We're just trying to have fun out here and play with our friends. Like, it's not that deep.
He seriously needs to get a grip.
Does he really think he's helping Liam play better?
I feel bad for Liam. I know he's embarrassed his dad ruins every game like this. I mean, I would be too.
Someone needs to tell him this isn't about him.
Yeah, stop trying to coach from the stands and just cheer.
That's what Liam wants.
That's what we all want.
Be your student's biggest fan, not their biggest critic. This message presented by the WVSSAC and the West Virginia Athletic Directors Association.
Governor Patrick Morrisey scheduled to be at the Meadowbrook Mall in Bridgeport at noon to make an announcement. Morrisey was in Lewisburg Monday, saying he'll have several announcements this week about infrastructure projects. A full day of high school basketball today at the Country Road Shootout taking place at West Virginia State University. Metro News' Joe Bricado is there all day long, posting video highlights and stories at WVMetroNews.com. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Jeff Jenkins.
This month, protect what you love, your business, your data, and your reputation. CityNet Cybersecurity Solutions help guard against threats like ransomware, phishing, and data loss, all backed up by local experts. Show your business some love with CityNet, connecting, protecting, and perfecting West Virginia businesses. Call CityNet today at 1-844-CityNet. Joining us here at the AARP broadcast location, Montague County Delegate, House Education Committee Chairman Joe Statler. Joe, good to see you again, buddy.
Nice seeing you.
Appreciate you stopping by. All right, a couple of things I want to talk about, including the ever popular or unpopular, depends on who you talk to, high school athlete transfer rule. Your committee took that up yesterday, discussing a bill proposed, sponsored by Dana Farrell, Kanawha County Delegate. There are a lot of questions about that bill. It's still going to get some work done to it, it looks like.
That is correct. Matter of fact, staff is up there working on it at the present time. They were still working on it last night when we left here at 7 o'clock. So that still has some work, some questions that needed answered, and I believe we'll have a final product soon.
I'm going to steal this man's idea. Let me float a simple one-sentence law for you. The SSAC is in charge, period.
You know, I will tell you, my choice of running legislation in education would not be athletics. I will tell you that, but I will also say that the system worked perfectly yesterday. We brought forward an idea, and the committee, whether you want to call it worked on or picked it apart, whichever way you want to go, but it was certainly a live discussion that went on, and there was a lot of concerns that was brought forward, a lot of areas of people reading into it that was not what it was, but that's okay too. So we will correct that, and we will move forward. That's what the process is about.
Well, to steal this guy's idea, you're exactly right. Disagreement isn't a bad thing. Debate doesn't necessarily mean controversy. It means you're looking at it, and if one person reads something into it that it might not be, well, now's the chance to talk about it and fix it. So the system did work, in my opinion. I agree.
Absolutely. If you send out there a piece of legislation that has the unclarity that that piece of legislation had, who can figure out what we're talking about? We all know rules gets it after we get it anyhow. But it would have been, you know, how would the SSAC ever have been able to interpret just exactly what we wanted? So I believe the system worked perfectly yesterday.
I want your opinion on this, and I'm not trying to discount the SSAC or discount the importance of athletics. I think athletics is great to teach leadership, turns young men into men and young women into women. With that said, shouldn't we – do we have the cart before the horse here? I mean, shouldn't we be more concerned about academic outcomes, whether or not a kid is ready to go into the workforce and get a job and have steady employment? At least be as worried about those things as we are about athletics.
Well, I do believe we are as worried. We're working on a lot of bills up there, and I can tell you I've brought down a folder that I've already read this morning. You know, we're still working on the school aid formula. We're working on 18A, looking with inside what can we do, a meeting on that. So that is all going on. In a perfect, well, no, I don't want to say in a perfect world. That won't sound correct either, but I will tell you that we have a lot to do. And my new motto in education is, Brian Abram sent me congratulations when I got this, and he simply said, remember, when eating an elephant, one bite at a time. So nice. That is our new motto in education on the House side.
Talking to House delegates, Education Committee Chairman Joe Statler. Speaking of an elephant, the school aid formula is an elephant. It is complicated. It has impacts all throughout the system. So where do you take that first bite, Joe?
Well, the first thing we got to do is certainly we see big deficit spendings going on in the counties, which we already know we got counties in financial problems. We cannot allow that to continue going on forward in the special needs arena. We got counties I'm getting reports anywhere in Montague County close to 13 million. Berkeley County is 18 million. That is after what the state sends them and the federal dollars. Big counties may be able to absorb that for a time. It can't go on forever. But imagine these small counties out there. I had the Roan superintendent in yesterday speaking with her, and she's going through stuff now. And I'll tell you, she is working hard, got a great plan. She's just under, the state is actually got her under observation. But believe me, I believe she has a plan going forward. But part of that plan has to be we got to do something in the special needs arena. But you're looking at millions and millions of dollars that we're seeing in deficits out there.
$224 million holistically was the number that was shared with me last fiscal year.
And I'm not sure.
Did that got it all?
And I don't believe they got it all, but I will tell you, we've got them graphs up there. Staff is also digging. There's one thing that I inherited by this job. I have a fantastic staff that's up there, and I mean, I can go in there and give them something to look at and dig into, and I think it'll take them a day or two. They got me something back before the end of the day for me to take home and read at night, so it's keeping me busy.
Are you going to push for school consolidation? I don't know how we fix school funding without looking at that. Dave talked about, I think Morgantown High has, or University, one of the two.
Morgantown has 1,500 students.
Yeah,
yes.
We have counties with less than that. That's not going to work.
Oh, absolutely. We got counties that's way down the 800. We're looking at those numbers also. I think you guys brought it up yesterday, mentioning, we got a ceiling or a floor of 1,400. If you go under that, then you still get paid for those students. And you are correct, and I've said that. I had Pendleton County in last week talking to them. They're one of the counties. What is the incentive to worry about what your enrollment is? If I tell you I'm going to pay you for 1,400 students, it doesn't matter if you got 10. And all that does then is drive up, and you ought to see some of these numbers are 50, 65% increase over the last few years because the students has went down, but the floor is still there. So that, although I understand it costs money to run these systems, but when you do that, you put the other counties at a disadvantage because you're taking money and putting it into a system that takes money out of somebody else's system. You can only spend $1 one time. Once you spend it, somebody else owns it.
So what's up next for the House Education? What's the next bill we're going to see come through there, Joe?
Oh, baby.
Come on. What's the preview? Give us the preview.
Today we have girls wrestling coming forward for your and I will tell you, it'll be a packed house. We had to move that bill out of Education Committee room because we didn't have enough room.
What's controversial about girls
It's
wrestling?
not controversial.
Okay.
It's not controversial. They want to be recognized and be as SSAC. And the magical number is to get to 31 teams across the state. And they're close to it. I think last week when Wayne was in, I believe it was 27. there's no doubt in my mind, at least by the emails, they can put together about 50 teams, I believe, by the amount of emailing I'm getting on it.
You know what I'm going to ask you, Joe? Do we need a state law for it, though?
No.
Right. Okay. All right.
We do not need a state law, but we do need to, again, the system is going to work like it's going to work today. We are going to look at it in committee, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Sure.
And we may make a recommendation to the SSAC. We've already had them in and talked to them as leadership and the staff. And I believe Wayne is really running the SSAC, and I'm getting a lot of good feedback.
Let me pose this question to you, and Joe, you can chime in. You would know, I think, though, with your athletics background. I know from having coworkers in Virginia, girls and boys, they wrestle against each other. Do we do that here?
They have co-ed. The younger kids do, but there's enough girls now who are involved in wrestling that they have their own team. In fact, they had a dual meet very, very recently.
Okay.
They do a state dual meet for them as well. There's a lot more interest than there used to be. Because, it used to be the one, you'd have one or two girls that have to wrestle with the boys. But now a lot of them have their own teams. Yeah, a lot more interest.
And I do believe that's a good thing that the girls has their team, their sport to go forward. And they want to wrestle in West Virginia. They don't want to go into Ohio, Pennsylvania, where they already do it. So
absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with it. Let me tell you, we're about economic development. We got that teams that goes into Huntington. Huntington's going to make some money off of those young ladies when they go down there to wrestle. If it's any indication by the amount of emails I get, they're going to have a bigger following than the men's sport.
Montague County Delegate Joe Statler. He's also chairman of the House Education Committee. I know you got another meeting to get to, Joe. Thanks for stopping by, buddy.
Appreciate you guys keeping the fire under.
Will do. Brad McElhinny's coming up next. Talkline from the ARP broadcast location.
Located in the heart of West Virginia, Bridgeport is the place to play. Endless indoor and outdoor recreation opportunities, including the Bridgeport Complex, coupled with a dynamic food scene, make Bridgeport the perfect getaway destination for couples and families. Explore unique shopping and pick from a wealth of lodging options to find something perfect for your needs. Explore the heart of West Virginia in Bridgeport. Learn more about all there is to do at greater-bridgeport.com.
Hospitals drive West Virginia's economy. They produce jobs and create opportunities while keeping our communities healthy. Employing nearly 54,000 people, West Virginia hospitals rank among our state's largest and most dependable employers. They provide more than $1 billion in community benefits and generate nearly $17 billion in total economic impact each year. Hospitals are investing where it counts, advancing health, ensuring access to care, and powering West Virginia's economic future.
A message from the West Virginia Hospital Association, online at wvha.org.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at wvhtf.org.
Across West Virginia, hospitals are always here, healing.
Trojan Landing Marine is now Charleston's newest power sports dealership.
We now feature a full line of sleek Suzuki street bikes and four-wheelers. We're now offering the innovative riding experience of Benda motorcycles. The next step in motorcycle evolution with all-electric Zero high-performance bikes. We've now got Segway vehicles starting as low as $10,000. Come in and check out our great selection of high-quality Benelli and Royal Enfield bikes. Visit Trojan Landing in Charleston, now your water, road, and dirt dealership.
5, 3, 1. All the sports West Virginia is talking about.
Nikki Izzo-Brown, coach of the nationally ranked WVU women's soccer team.
I think they're just having a very good understanding of each other.
Join Kyle Wiggs, Brett Howe, and Coach Hunter weeknights for Sportsline on Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at wvmetronewstv.com.
Stike Wealth Enhancement Group is now Wealth Enhancement, and we craft detailed financial plans for people like you because you're building your retirement your way. You deserve advice that's built to handle what your life brings. To meet with your Stike team advisor, call us at 304-443-4240 or email stike-info@wealthenhancement.com.
Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Back at the ARP broadcast location, Dave Wilson, TJ Meadows. He's Brad McElhinny. He is the Metro News statewide correspondent. He is here every day at the legislature during the 60-day session, brought to you by AARP, your ally for real possibilities in the Mountain State. Connect on social media at AARP West Virginia and learn more at aarp.org/WV. Brad, good morning.
Oh, hi. Good morning and happy homeschool day.
Yes,
homeschool
day.
The homeschoolers who are not here may be at home listening to us to learn about public policy.
This would be a good field trip day, wouldn't it be? I think. Mm-hmm. Do they still do field trips like when we were kids? Anyway,
I think so. I see a bunch of youngsters over there now, so yes.
It must be.
These might be the only kids in the state the last month who've been actually getting an education because school's been snowed out.
Brad, we were just talking to the House Education Committee Chairman, Joe Statler, joining us here at the AARP broadcast location. Senate Ed was meeting this morning, and they were talking about school aid formula.
Yeah, they had 3 bills this morning dealing with school aid formula. Let me just give you the overview, and I'm a gradual learner, so I'm not sure that I picked up every little nuance today, but the first of the bills would increase the ratio of teachers and staff per 1,000 students. The second would address the issue of the additional costs of special education students. Some of those kids, require one-on-one learning or they need nurses. It establishes 3 tiers of special education needs and addresses the cost that way. The third would address, it's West Virginia, it would address schools that are very, very rural because they face additional costs by being out in wherever they are. The final takeaway I have is that, no surprise, these things cost money. I would like to now, on the radio, read to you from Physical Notes, also known as Fiscal Notes. Okay, so the one that increases the ratio of teachers and service personnel by 3 positions per 1,000 students is estimated to increase costs by $86.6 million. Nope, not pocket change. The second one, which establishes 3 tiers for special education. And, there's been a good argument here that those special education costs are genuine and expensive for counties and not met. That is estimated to cost, I may need a drum roll just to $46 million, give or take. So if you got your pocket calculator out, add those together. And then the one that addresses extremely rural schools, and there are so few of them, the Physical Note actually lists them. Fiscal Note. That is $11.7 million. So, you're going north of $100 million if all 3 of these pass in their current incarnation. But apropos of nothing, the governor's 5% tax cut is estimated to be $125 million. So, you got to have a balanced budget at the end. There has not yet been a discussion of whether you can do one while also doing the other, but I begin to raise the question about whether the governor is even going to get his 5% if people believe that providing additional financial support for the school system in West Virginia is the higher priority.
Minus one-time money or minus forecasting a higher consumption tax because you've cut PIT, which I agree with. People spend money, but I don't know that you should bank on that money until you realize it and have at least 1 year of actual data to support it. I don't see how you make those numbers work. I don't.
You're the numbers guy. I'll rely on you.
It doesn't work.
Politically, this is occurring. This is a relatively long delayed discussion. This is what, day 28 of the legislative session. It's a complicated issue. It's heavy dollars. The Education Committee itself is still going. They've been going for a couple of hours. but it's happening at the same time the governor is trying to turn up the heat on the tax cut. You know, he's busy on social media saying we've done the hard work of getting to the 5%.
Up in Bridgeport
we need to hold hands with the legislature to get all the way to the 10%. And it is tweet after tweet after tweet and videos, and he has gone on the road with tax influencer Grover Norquist. So, I mean, I think the values are about to collide.
Oh, they're going to collide because if you are a voter, just put yourself in the voter's shoes. Everybody loves a tax cut, right?
Yep.
But do you love a tax cut, or do you love your local school more? Do you want to keep your kids' elementary school open so they have a 10-minute drive, or do you want to be talking about what TJ's talking about? Not just TJ, I blame you, but, looking at closing your local schools or not having as many teachers, not having as many opportunities, seeing values are going to collide. You are absolutely right, Brad. And I don't know where the voters are. I think I know where the voters are, because every time you bring up closing a school, people are very passionate about keeping their local community schools. You got to fund them. You got to figure it out. You either got to fund them or you got to come up with a whole new way of looking at administering them, I guess. So, anyway, we'll see. You're right. That was a long-winded way of saying you're right, Brad.
You know, I suspect the way it processes in people's minds is they want their local school to be safe. This is all
close the
encompassing.
other one. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that they care about a county over, but, this is the legislature they're going to address holistically. But, if you weighed the two, we're going to provide additional money to make sure the schools stay open, or we're going to cut your taxes. I would assume that the citizens have a very complicated view of that weight.
I hate to be Mr. Pessimist. Too little, too late. We're halfway in. You needed a game plan and a bill ready to run in committee discussion day one if you wanted to get that done in 60 days, I think, and really have something meaningful around school aid funding formula. I also think this. When is someone, either house, and maybe they've done it and I've missed it, when are they going to stand up and say, Mr. Governor, if you want 10%, come to us with a plan that fully articulates 10%, or else it's done.
This is going to rock your world. The governor gets to do his own proposed budget, along with the expertise of his staff.
Yeah.
And he could have reflected the 10%.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Could have.
So just call him on it.
Well, I'm not implying anything by my next observation. But Speaker Hanshaw has a news conference this afternoon.
Oh, no.
Oh, he does. And so, I think the general outline of that is that we're reaching the midpoint of the session. The House did come in with a plan, and it was jobs bills and workforce bills. I think he's going to highlight the progress they've made and encourage continued momentum on those issues.
That comes up right after the floor session. The floor session starts at 11. I'm not sure which. Are you going House or Senate today, Brad?
I have brief business in the Senate, but I need to, as a matter of timing, the press conference is as soon as the House floor session is done. And so I need to just be aware of when they're finished. Which
I think you're going to have time. E-Verify is going to get hot over here today.
Oh.
The whole E-Verify bill, we've been hearing from that, the whole idea that employers have to use E-Verify plus use the I-9. It's going to get hot. Business has problems with that bill.
Okay.
Brad McElhinny, brought to you by AARP, your ally for real possibilities in the Mountain State. Brad, appreciate it. We'll talk to you tomorrow, buddy.
Tomorrow I'll read more fiscal notes.
Back to wrap up hour number 1 in a moment.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
Kids deserve care that's as specialized as they are. At WVU Medicine Golisano Children's Pediatric Urology, we treat everything from urinary tract issues and kidney problems to bladder and genital conditions with expertise and compassion. Our team uses advanced techniques designed for growing bodies so your child gets the best care possible. Call 855-WVU-CARE to schedule an evaluation or visit WVUkids.com.
Since 1926, the West Virginia Hospital Association has been the collective voice of our state's hospitals, with a shared vision of strengthening communities, improving lives, and supporting our state's economic well-being. Our member hospitals work every day to provide high-quality, accessible care. This year, we celebrate 100 years of a unified voice and our ongoing commitment to supporting our members in achieving a strong, healthy West Virginia.
A message from the West Virginia Hospital Association, online at WVHA.org.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
On the next State of Minds.
My dad always said, don't let any one individual control your destiny, what you do, what your value is. And I wasn't about to let Paterno do that to me. I mean, it was just a phenomenal time, my first game, and to be accepted as a Mountaineer.
Start your new year off right with a new ride from Dan Cava GMC. Come explore our 2026 GMC Acadias. Spacious, smooth, and made for everyday life. It's truly a fan favorite. Drive into winter with a new 2026 GMC Sierra, now up to $12,000 off, or lease as low as $499 a month. So upgrade your ride this year with us at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop Thora.
It's high school basketball season, and Metro News Television has you covered. Rivalries, buzzer beaters, classic hardwood competition. Watch live and on demand from gyms across the Mountain State. Stream Metro News Television on your iPhone, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select smart TVs. Or visit MetroNewsTV.com for more information. High school basketball lives here on Metro News Television.
Jackpots are growing in West Virginia. Jackpots are on the rise every week. Powerball hits Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Mega Millions lights up Tuesdays and Fridays. That's 5 chances a week to get in on life-changing jackpots. Play in store and online. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. The Powerball jackpot is $126 million. Mega Millions is $366 million. So go ahead, play today. That was a jammed hour number one. Hour number two, going to have a little bit more time to breathe. We might even do a text or two coming up in the second hour. No promises. Mark Manchin is going to join us, president of Glenville State University. He's going to stop by. We're going to talk to Chazz Nuttycombe with State Navigate. Break down some numbers as we head into primary election season. Lots to do in the second hour. Come on back and join us. Go get you a cafe latte and a bear claw. This is Talkline on Metro News from the West Virginia State Capitol. On Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. Hoppy Kercheval, 5:55 a.m. How early did you get in that day, by the way?
Probably 3:30.
How long did you do sign-on shift?
I signed on like 7 years.
Not all.
6 days a week for 7 years.
Lightweight.
I know. Couldn't do it now. Now when I wake up at 3:30 is to go to the bathroom. And go back to bed.
Welcome to the 2 o'clock hour, Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. On a Wednesday, and I apologize because Stephanie Pauly is our producer, one of the producers of the show, and normally she has everything. We have a thing we call the run sheet, when we have who we're calling and what we're doing and so on. And Stephanie, I don't even know whether you know this. I did the run sheet today, and I put the wrong date on. I put 2025 on it because how many of us in modern day actually write the date out anymore? I mean, you did it when you were in school. You did it back when people wrote checks and whatever. This may have been the first day that I have written the date down, and I was responsible for putting together the sheet. And my co-host, the lovely and talented AB, starts the show by saying January 24th, 2025, because she read it directly off the sheet. And it is indeed the year of our Lord, 2026.
Oh, yeah, he did find something out. Something, you're related to Thomas Jefferson?
Well, no, I'm not related to Thomas Jefferson, but I am related to Samuel Kercheval, who was a historian.
I'm going to tell you something about Samuel Kercheval. Him and Jefferson out smoking corn silk. Kercheval told him, Thomas, I don't know about this country. Might want to start again.
He could.
So I don't have a monitor here, so I really can't see what happens at the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So at what point do I pop up? When the music starts and Mr. Announcer comes on?
Yeah.
So they see all the little panic things that I do that I'm still in the process of setting up?
Yes. They see you shuffle about uncomfortably. They see you blow the dust off your headphones. They see you put in like 2 cough drops at the same time.
Oh, yeah. I don't do 2 at the same time. Okay. All right. I don't know that. I should probably. Now, these shows are archived, right? So I can go back and watch them.
Yes.
So I could like live this show in real time and then go home and, when I say something to Linda like, hey, did you hear when I did this? And I don't watch it. Well, let's get in front of the TV and watch me do it again for 3 straight hours.
Yes, it's archived just like the audio podcast.
Ah, that's right.
And see, this is the thing that gets the NCAA in trouble, when it goes to court here. Is there a clock or not? Greg, we talk about the clock all the time.
Mm-hmm.
If he began in 2019, the clock should have run out, whether he's played the 4 years or not. And that's part of the argument, because some guys go right through the clock, right? TJ Finley, we've mentioned many times on this show. 7th team coming up this year. He's playing for Incarnate Word. He's played 7 seasons at 7 different schools. Now, why hasn't his clock started? Why doesn't he have the 5-year clock? So if you're Aguilar, I get it.
He just bouncing him off the ropes. Somebody save this man. Oh, my Lord. Oh. Very nice, very nice. He hit him with everything he didn't want.
– 10 seconds remaining.
There'll be a direct snap here.
Snap back. It's Tyler. Tyler fakes the run. He throws. He's got an open man. Pass top 10. 5. End zone. It's a touchdown. Pulled in by Nestor. 3 seconds left.
Are you kidding me with the play call right there by Kevin Whiteman? Again, forget the game-winning field goal. Whiteman says, we're going to try and win this thing right now. The direct snap to Tyler sucked everybody up, and Nestor slips behind. What an unbelievable gutsy play call, and then perfect execution by these Falcons.
Things aren't always going to be great. And sometimes, you can work really, really hard and it's still not great. You're still not successful. But, if you continue to do it, one way or another, things are going to be, work out. You're going to be successful. And it may not be in the world's eyes, but, God's made us this way. He's blessed us with so many things. And I think that's one of our attributes that we need to have is we're going to continue to work. We're going to continue to work hard. And if it doesn't work out exactly how we want, just keep plugging away because God's got better plans.
Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Good morning and welcome to the second hour of Metro News Talkline. We are live at the AARP broadcast location, Upper Rotunda, the West Virginia State Capitol. It is Homeschoolers Day here at the Capitol. A lot of students getting a first-hand look at the legislative process. I hope they're impressed. A little bit later on, we'll be joined by Glenville State University President Mark Manchin. Glenville State Day got postponed because of Snowmageddon a couple of weeks ago, so the Pioneers with a presence in the building this morning. We may actually get to the text line at some point during the show this hour. 800-765-TALKS, the phone number. 304-TALK-304 is the text line. We were so busy in the first hour, I neglected to mention that Ethan Collins and Sophia Wasik are our audio producers this morning. If you're listening in on one of our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia, Stephanie Pauley is running the video stream on site with Zach Karolchek, man of the people, back at the command center on Spruce Street in Morgantown, handling, if you're watching on the Metro News TV app, Facebook Live, or on YouTube. We're all over the place.
We're everywhere now.
Have you heard of State Navigate, Mr. Meadows?
I have.
Fairly, well, you should, because our next guest is joining us from State Navigate. But it's a fairly new presence in West Virginia. Joining us from State Navigate is Chazz Nuttycombe. Chazz, good morning. Appreciate you joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on.
For folks who may not be familiar, explain what State Navigate is and what its mission is.
Yeah, absolutely. So State Navigate, our goal is to set up a one-stop shop for state legislatures in every state in the country. We opened up in West Virginia in, I believe it was mid-October last year. So we are a 501c3 nonpartisan nonprofit. We want to pretty much gather, curate, aggregate, and create all and any data on state legislatures and general state government to make it easy for people, whether they be elites, your average Joe, or, wherever they are ideologically, to learn more about their state legislatures.
So you've been doing some number crunching. Lay it out there for us, Chazz. What do you see in the next primary as it comes down to the legislature here in West Virginia, which, as you know, is currently heavily dominated by Republicans?
Well, I don't necessarily forecast the primaries, I forecast general elections, but, obviously there's this big divide in West Virginia, particularly in the, in the Senate for the Republicans. There's emerging a three-party system in West Virginia. You definitely have Randy Smith and the governor going up against more of these, I guess, standard bearer conservative, business-friendly conservative, and some of these primaries. Almost every state Senate district in West Virginia has a Republican primary this year. And then almost half of all House of Delegates districts this year have a Republican primary. And, so the speaker in the House of Delegates is not, too much in danger of losing to the emerging, very conservative faction this year. But, they could gain ground. I think really the main battle is going to be in the state Senate this May.
Talking to Chazz Nuttycombe with State Navigate. So break down those, not the individual primaries, but we're looking at, we know there is a different factions in the state Senate. You have the very right Republicans. You have the more moderate Republicans. At least that's how we describe them. But how do you break it down as you look at the numbers in these races?
Yeah, so, it looks like this year Randy Smith and his faction is more so on defense with, what seats are up. There's A seats and B seats in the West Virginia Senate for, which ones are up in the midterm, which ones are in the presidential. Obviously, Tom Tabucco is not a big fan of Randy Smith and wants to move the West Virginia Senate a little more to the center right rather than the very, very conservative right. So Randy Smith is mainly on defense. Really, as far as I'm aware, even though there are center-right Republicans who are getting a primary, really the only one that I believe Randy Smith has recruited someone against is Tabucco himself to try and get him out. And, So I mean, there's a lot of districts at play, but that's kind of the general, I guess, playing field is that the majority, right? Because Randy Smith is president of the Senate. Majority is mainly on defense this year, and this is the first time that the Republican primary will only feature Republicans, no more independents or NPAs, and I think that'll be something that is something that works in favor of the conservative faction in the West Virginia legislature in general. I think you could see a lot of center-right Republicans get primaried, but we'll wait and see. We're working on a big data project to look at how independents and Republicans voted in the 2024 primaries. So hopefully that'll be out this month or at least before sine die.
Let's talk about the role that Governor Morrissey is playing. Clearly sticking his beak in, clearly picking a side, endorsed for all intents and purposes Laura Wacom Chapman over her challenger last week, Joe Eddy, by saying that Chapman would beat Fluharty in the general, basically dismissed Eddy in that entire conversation. As you look at the landscape across the country, how common is that a governor would step into primary battles rather than waiting and coming in after the primary's been decided?
Oh, I mean, it depends on the state, right? Here in Virginia, Governor Youngkin definitely endorsed in primaries to try and get someone in who he felt that would be good for the general election. When we had, elections in 2023, right, you had some more conservative challengers, and Youngkin endorsed more of the kind of center-right challengers, or not challengers, but just primary candidates. And they all won. This is different in West Virginia, where it's it's the Republican Party fighting itself with a center-right faction, a standard-bearer conservative faction, and a very, very conservative faction. I've seen this in Wyoming and Idaho and North Dakota and South Dakota for sure. I mean, these are states with very, very large divides in their Republican Party. I mean, West Virginia comes nowhere close to those states, but perhaps one day it will. So it's not all that uncommon for governors to endorse, especially incumbents. I would say the governor's wrong in that Chapman would be a stronger candidate in the general. Chapman is a electoral underperformer when we were looking at the baseline partisanship of the district. Obviously, Chapman is the more conservative incumbent, and the further you are away from the center, right? If you're a sort of hardline ideologically extreme person, you're going to underperform in elections, whether it be someone on like a far left or a far right, right? So I think the governor would be wrong there in terms of Chapman being more likely to be Fluharty, but Chapman is one of the governor's acolytes and very much supports his agenda, so it's not too surprising that the governor has endorsed Chapman.
Chazz Nuttycombe joining us from State Navigate. Chazz, can you give us some numbers on the impact that Republicans closing their primary will have on who decides the election coming up here? Because previously, everyone knows now, I think, independents could vote in the Republican primary. That's been closed off. It's Republicans only. So with Republicans only voting, who's going to decide these races? Who, as far as a percentage of the population, will be deciding these races coming up?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not many people, honestly. So I believe in 2024, it was like, maybe in the low double digits for how many West Virginians actually, voted in that Republican primary for governor. In all likelihood, in short, I won't get too deep into the numbers of the historical record here, but like less than 10% of West Virginians are going to determine 90% of the West Virginia legislative seats. Because, about 90% of the legislative seats in West Virginia are safely Republican, and less than 10% of West Virginians are going to be voting in the Republican primary. And that number wasn't that much higher. It was definitely in the teens for primaries when they had independents and whatnot in. But now it's definitely going to be like single digits for how many West Virginians, or just not even just all West Virginians, but the ones who are on the voter roll, who are going to be, determining like 90% of legislative seats, which is, I think people don't really think about when they think about, what, primaries effects on democracy, on, I think obviously the main goal when this change is pushed is like, well, the Republicans wanted this push because this could help them with voter, or people change their voter registration, party registration, to become, Republicans, but it's only increased by like 1%, I think, since 2024. And that's not like out of the normal or out of usual for how much, year per year, as I recall correctly, that, West Virginia's party registration has changed. And, the other thing would be that, some other people wanted to change so that, more conservative people could win the primaries. But yeah, at the end of the day, less than 10% of West Virginians are going to be, determining 90% of legislative seats.
That seems problematic. You talk about the democratic process. But look, this is a state, regardless of locking independents out, we banned ranked choice voting before we even seriously looked at it. What gives here? I mean, should we be talking? We don't have a runoff, Chazz, so a plurality will win you a Republican nomination. I mean, what's the fix here? What should voters be talking about? Because to your point, I don't see independents switching. I think they value that independence. So then it becomes a question of, do they push for election reforms in how we elect people? And in your opinion, what should those be if this is a problem?
Well, I'm not going to, advocate for any, again, I'm a nonpartisan person. I'm not going to advocate for any election reforms, So I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it up to the legislators and whether they think there should be election reforms or change to the primary system or what have you. What I will say is there's a lot of options. People like to push, whether it be ranked choice voting or in Alaska they have a top 4 primary with Republicans and Democrats and independents that also uses ranked choice voting. In theory, you could have, it's never happened pretty much in the states since, I believe, the 1950s on the state legislative level, but you could have a new party, that would be encapsulating, kind of center-right, and, maybe the Democrats as well, but I don't think that would ever really happen. As much as, and that would be more like a Canadian system, because in Canada, they don't have, federalized parties. They have, provincial parties, right? They have provinces, not states. And so they have, the Saskatchewan Party for Saskatchewan and New Democratic Party, whereas, at the federal level, it's, liberal versus conservative, right? So, there are a whole bunch of potential reforms if people want them, but, just that's up to West Virginians, and that's up to legislators if they ever want to change the system.
Chazz Nuttycombe with State Navigate. You can find his work at statenavigate.org. Chazz, appreciate the insights. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Have a good one.
Absolutely. We'll get to some text coming up. 304 Talk 304 is the text line. Mark Manchin, Glenville State University, will join us bottom of the hour. This is Talkline from the AARP broadcast location in the Upper Rotunda, the West Virginia State Capitol. We're back in a moment.
Hospitals drive West Virginia's economy. They produce jobs and create opportunities while keeping our communities healthy. Employing nearly 54,000 people, West Virginia hospitals rank among our state's largest and most dependable employers. They provide more than $1 billion in community benefits and generate nearly $17 billion in total economic impact each year. Hospitals are investing where it counts, advancing health, ensuring access to care, and powering West Virginia's economic future.
A message from the West Virginia Hospital Association, online at WVHA.org.
Coal-based generation remains the backbone of West Virginia's energy portfolio, ensuring reliable reliability, security, and affordable electricity throughout the region. Our coal plants are engineered for performance, designed to run most efficiently at or near a 70% capacity factor. This level of operation is not arbitrary. It's based on sound engineering principles, scientific analysis, and has been formally adopted by the West Virginia Legislature as a reasonable target for optimal performance. When our coal fleet operates near that benchmark, it provides stable power to the grid, maintains cost efficiency, and supports thousands of good-paying jobs across our state. Coal generation also drives local tax revenue that sustains schools, infrastructure, and community services. Working in partnership with state leaders and the Trump administration, we're ensuring that our coal fleet remains modern, efficient, and ready to power West Virginia and beyond for decades to come. This message brought to you by the West Virginia Coal Association and Friends of Coal.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Poca Valley has proudly served the citizens of Roane, Kanawha, Putnam, and surrounding counties for over a century. As your trusted community bank, we're committed to building relationships and meeting your financial needs. And with the Poca Valley Visa card, you can enjoy competitive interest rates, no annual fees, and a rewarding points program, all from a bank you know and trust. Visit your local Poca Valley office to apply or call us. Poca Valley, where relationships matter. Member FDIC.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
I've had a complicated relationship with food. My job was to talk to heart failure patients about diet and exercise. I felt like, why would you listen to me? Because I was not following a diet that was healthy for me. I needed help. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 175 pounds. I feel like I'm free. They hold the skill, they hold the tools, and they're waiting for you to come say that you need the help.
Stike Wealth Enhancement Group is now Wealth Enhancement. We believe retirement starts with a plan. Saving for college starts with a plan. Your legacy starts with a plan. Do you have the right plan? Call our team at 304-443-4240 or email stike-info@wealthenhancement.com.
You know, it might just warm up enough today to tease you and remind you that boating season is not that far away. In fact, it's really just a few weeks away. So you're going to regret if you're not thinking about a pontoon or a fishing boat now. Well, you're going to regret it when the weather breaks and you see everybody else out on the lake and river enjoying themselves and you're, well, stuck up on the hillside. So it may not feel like boat weather right now, but check out all the great deals and inventory at Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Go to LouWendellMarineSales.com. Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun. I am looking forward to temperatures up near 60 today.
I was going to say, somebody will be on the river today.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely.
They're
At 60.
nuts.
No,
There's
there
still
will be.
ice out on the river.
There's people that go out.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm done with winter. I'm ready to move on.
I was done a while back.
Amen, brother. Let's get some text in. We usually don't get enough text while we're here at the – well, we get the text. We don't get them in while we're at the Capitol. 304-TALK 304. Chazz did a great job informing us. You need more guests like him. More insightful than Greg Thomas's conspiracy theories. Some interesting stuff if you look at State Navigate, and I know you love this, TJ, putting numbers not just making assumptions on gut feeling and observations, but putting actual numbers to issues, and in this in particular instance, the races. There's some interesting data there, and I'm really looking forward to, he mentioned the comprehensive outlook they're going to have here coming up before the end of the session. Just looking forward to seeing what the numbers say and then how things will bear out when we get to May.
Yeah, they'll be polling on these primary races. I know there's already independent polling out in the field on a lot of these primary races, and he's right, that's where it's going to be. It's always interesting, though, even with his take on how many people are in what faction, and you can read his piece. The numbers kind of vary. This guy, maybe not. But there's definitely those factions, and look, we are where we are as a result of it. But it's a really interesting piece. Go read it. Brad actually did another piece on it today as well at our website.
Yes, he did.
That you can read. So very informative stuff.
Texter says, how does any registered independent, even and with an ounce of integrity, demand to vote in a primary of a party they've already chose to reject, says the texter.
Oh, I can make the argument if you want me to.
30-second argument.
Taxpayers pay for those primaries, do they not? If you don't want to open them up to every voter, pay for it yourself. Have a convention. There you go.
304 Talk 304. West Virginia is the only state that inflation-adjusted income has not increased since 1970. The largest employer is the state of West Virginia with over 46,000 employees. State employees' salary hasn't come close to keeping up with inflation. I listened to all the statements in support of Senate Bill 615 yesterday. It is unfortunate that they do not recognize the potential this bill has harming the people of West Virginia. Their conviction that we must allow federal laws to supersede West Virginia state law is surprising me. I found it ironic that one of the important reasons that they felt this was important to pass this bill was to be sure that the state of West Virginia always follows federal law, when one of the next bills presented was Senate Bill 478, the Second Amendment Reaffirmation and Protection Act, which you co-sponsored. I must be talking directly to Willis here, which has the purpose of prohibiting the enforcement of federal laws that would create firearms restrictions, prohibitions, regulations requiring registration, classification, and licensing of firearms. The degree of lack of cognitive dissonance that is required to hold both of these positions is almost too much for me to fathom. At least the Senate leadership had the decency to lay that bill over for a day to avoid passing both the bills on the same day.
We didn't get to this with Willis, but I think it is a fair question. So if we're going to do this for ICE, why not do it for any federal crime? Just expand the bill to say, local authorities, if you are aware or believe that someone has committed a federal crime, you have to go to the FBI, you have to go to Homeland Security, you have to go to ICE, whatever federal agency has jurisdiction over that particular code section that has been broken. Reason we don't, they already do it.
Like Mike Woelfel said, do you really need I paraphrase, do you really need a bill to tell cops to do their job? Dave and TJ, they should cut the business and inventory tax on businesses. We have to have a balance. We need job growth. They have a plan in place for the state income tax. Follow it. Counties need businesses, says the texter. It's going to take a constitutional amendment to do that if we're going to cut business inventory tax. And they passed the amendment 2, 3, 4 years ago, whatever it was, and voters turned that down. Now, Jim Justice had a big role in voters turning that down, but voters turned it down.
Voters pay it either way. Businesses don't pay taxes. Voters do. Consumers do.
Southern Coalfield voter here. Oh, you know what? We're going to run out of time. I'll get to your text from the Southern Coalfield voter coming up in a couple of segments, because up next we've got Mark Manchin going to join us. He is the president of Glenville State University. It's Glenville State Day, albeit a few days late. You can blame the weather for that. We'll talk to Dr. Manchin, find out what's happening with the Pioneers when we return to the Upper Rotunda of the West Virginia State Capitol. This is Talkline, live at the State Capitol for the legislative session on Metro News. Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It's 11:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Chris Lawrence. U.S. Attorney Moore Capito said they hope for sentencing of 2 individuals on convictions of sex trafficking will break a cycle that left many locked in fear.
Everybody was afraid to talk about the horrible things that he was doing in our communities because they were afraid of retribution.
49-year-old Taiwan Bailey and 52-year-old Carrie Roy were convicted of sex trafficking and conspiracy. Bailey was also hit with 3 convictions over sex trafficking by force and coercion. A federal judge in Charleston sentenced Bailey to 25 years and Roy got 10. State Senate has approved a bill mandating law enforcement in West Virginia immediately transfer any person identified as undocumented to federal authorities to be deported. Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Tom Willis on why it's needed.
This bill just makes sure that across the state, everybody's cooperating to the full extent possible with federal law enforcement on immigration.
The bill approved on a vote of 32-2 and goes to the House. Owners of the Mount Storm Power Station in Grant County say despite the closing of a nearby coal mine that provided coal to their operation, the plant's mission is only increasing. Dominion Energy tells Metro News they're seeing a need for power explode in their region, and they need to increase the generating capacity at Mount Storm to meet the demand. They say coal will continue to be a fuel at the plant sourced from elsewhere and confirm they're not replacing it with natural gas. You're listening to Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. Hi, I'm Chris Lawrence. Make plans to join me at the Mountain State's premier fishing, hunting, and outdoor sports show presented by Can-Am, Saturday and Sunday, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown. Over 200 vendor booths and 100,000 square feet of everything outdoors, all under one roof. Great prizes, seminars, and kids fish for free in the Academy Sports Trout Pond. It's the 24th annual West Virginia Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Show, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown. A WBRC media event.
Hi, I'm Lane Tobin, and I'm a project consultant with Civil and Environmental Consultants. Growing up in West Virginia, I always dreamed of giving back to my community. That's why I chose CEC. As an employee-owned firm, we combine big company support with a close-knit culture. From stormwater management to new pedestrian trails, with every project, I see the impact we're making, and I couldn't be prouder. CEC isn't just where I work, it's where I make a difference. At CEC, we engineer progress in the great state of West Virginia.
Find out what CEC can do for you. Visit cecinc.com.
As the primary election draws near, there are more Democrats on the ballot than in recent years and more contested primaries for Republicans. But Chazz Nuttycombe, executive director of State Navigate, a group which analyzes and handicaps the races, says the outcome won't change a lot.
It's the obvious. Neither majorities or supermajorities in West Virginia, are in play. But either party could gain seats.
Read more at WVMetroNews.com. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Chris Lawrence.
We're at the AARP broadcast location, Upper Rotunda, the West Virginia State Capitol. Dave Wilson, TJ Meadows, joined by the president of Glenville State University, Mark Manchin. Good to see you.
Glad to be here, guys. Appreciate you.
Glenville State Day. The weather had other ideas a couple of weeks ago, but the Pioneers are in the building today. So what is happening?
Well, all kinds of things are happening. In fact, we're just a couple of days away from our 154th anniversary. We were created by the West Virginia legislature about 154 years ago. So we're right now celebrating our 154th year. We just were in the Senate chambers where they just recognized us with a resolution. The House recognized us with a resolution earlier. So we're just going around and visiting, and so many people, so many alumni, so many people are aware of Glenville have been coming up and saying hello, and we're very appreciative of that. And like you said, the weather wasn't the best the other day, but we're here now, and we're going to make the best of this situation, and we're excited to be here and excited to be talking to you all around the state of West Virginia.
Mr. President, we were talking about all the great projects that you have going on at Glenville State right now. Tell us about those.
Well, we're very excited. Obviously, traditionally, we were created 154 years ago as what is referred to as a normal school to provide teachers for the state. And we pretty much over the years have been recognized as a teacher's college. I want to move, and we still have to provide teachers, and we still have a quality education program, but we're moving more and more towards health sciences. We created a new undergraduate degree last year for health sciences that has seven different sub classes, including pre-med, pre-dental, PT, health administration, and as we move more and more into providing rural health care. That is something near and dear to me. I grew up in a small community called Farmington, West Virginia, and my family was very active in when I was a small guy, in providing health care for rural West Virginia. And you don't get much more rural than Glenville. So what we found is that if you train them in these small communities, they have a tendency to stay in these small communities. So we're excited about that. We've, like I said, we have a new health science undergraduate degree. We're building a new state-of-the-art health science facility, the Morris Family Health and Fitness Complex, which will house our health sciences. We're working on a new nursing program that we will be able to provide nurses. Two of the greatest needs in the state of West Virginia right now are nurses and teachers. And we're well positioned. We're working on to make sure that we can provide those what's necessary to provide for the citizens of West Virginia. And if you look at anything, any indicator of quality of life indicators, the highest is obviously health care. Second is education. And so, particularly in rural West Virginia, it's near and dear to my heart. And being president of Glenville, we interact with a lot of students who come from your smaller schools, more rural parts of the state, your Gilmer counties, Clay counties, Lewis counties, Upshur counties, Roane counties, Webster counties, some of the smaller counties, more rural. So hopefully what we're able to do is provide them with the necessary skills, our students who come from these small communities, to go back into their home communities and make sure that they get a good quality education, one, and then the skills necessary to provide quality health care. And we believe if we can provide it in Glenville, they have a tendency to stay in that area and go back home. And we're excited about that. And like I said, there's nothing more important than quality health care. If you don't have health care, if you don't have your health, you have nothing. Everything else becomes secondary to that. So we're really excited about. We're transitioning from exclusively being seen as a teacher's college or an education where we train teachers for the future, which is we're not diminishing that or saying it's not as important. It's important, but we're really excited about the direction we're going with our health industry and recognizing, particularly now with the real emphasis at the state level with the governor and rural health care. Hopefully we can continue to be part of that and make sure that we have the necessary funds and facilities, which we're working on the facilities, and then we'll provide that necessary education and training. They'll go on and be successful and make this a better state.
We've had the opportunity to speak to your colleagues, Dr. Benson at WVU, Brad Smith, Mike Davis, Shepherd College, State, WVU Tech, everybody. We've had this opportunity. And what I see happening, maybe not for the first time, but maybe more emphasis than ever, higher education institutions are working together.
Yes.
You guys are cooperating.
Oh, yes. And Marshall, under President Smith, has done an outstanding job working with some of the smaller colleges. And he was very specific when we were working on a BSN program, Bachelor in Science and Nursing, with Marshall University. We're looking at going in a couple other directions, too. But many of the universities, Mike Davis at Fairmont State, which is my alma mater. I grew up in Marion County. But what a great guy. And we've been working together. Pierpont has been doing an outstanding job working with some of the other colleges. But it's a collaborative effort. And in order for us to be successful, I think you must collaborate. We're all in this together. And if we only say it's just, peculiar just to our needs and what we're trying to do, then you're not going to be successful. But if we all collaborate together, working, I think we have a much better chance of being successful. And you're right. I've had the opportunity, and there many of them I've worked with over the years since I've been president. And I think we all have the same goals and aspirations to provide the best skills and quality of education we possibly can, so these young men and women can go on and be successful in life. What greater gift could any of us give to these young men and women coming out of our high schools, not only in West Virginia, but many are coming from the tri-state area, but all the colleges, we have a great relationship. We have a council of presidents that meet regularly. President Benson has come down to Glenville. He spent a day with us, which was great. What a great guy, and just so many of us recognize that in order for us to be successful, you must collaborate, and so I'm proud of that, and our willingness to work together. We're all in this, and that's what we say.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk. These students, or these are our students. They're all our students, and so I'm very excited about that, and honored to be part of that.
So we got the right people at the table leading the charge. You talked about some students coming in from out of state. Your in-state students. How we keep them here, Mark? That's the question.
That's good, and that's the issue. That is the issue. Obviously, over the years, economic development is something we feel very strongly about. But I think if you provide a good quality education and encourage them, the unfortunate thing, when I was county school superintendent, I was superintendent in Harrison and McDowell and Webster County, I would invariably go into any of the classrooms and ask how many of you see your future in West Virginia. In a classroom of 20, 25, only 2 or 3 would raise their hand. We need to do a better job of working with our young men and women, giving them the education and the skills necessary to stay right here in West Virginia and have pride in our state, and working closely with the legislature, working closely with higher education. Higher Education Policy Commission under our chancellor is doing an incredible job. I think we can continue to impress upon these young men and women that their future is right here in West Virginia. And I think that's what we've got to do. But I think it starts at the high school level, the elementary level, making sure they have the skills as they go on. And then by the time they get to us, is that we instill in them pride in their state, even if they're out of state. Pride in the state of West Virginia. We've given you the skills necessary to go on. To be successful. Now go out and make a difference, a positive difference, where it's truly needed, and that's right here in the state of West Virginia.
Sometimes, not to get off on this tangent, we're our own worst enemy.
Sometimes.
And we don't highlight the success coming out of school. When you're 17, 18 years old and you know everything, right? You don't know about the success stories that are in West Virginia. Again, it's a tangent I get on, but we need to highlight our successes.
It's an excellent. It is a tangent, but it's so important to recognize. We have to do a better job of selling the state of West Virginia.
Yes.
Unfortunately, so many people here in the state, they'll look and they're a little embarrassed sometimes. I grew up where we love this great state of ours. We love the Mountain State. Of course, I grew up in a family that had decided to make a difference and to get involved in public service. So that's something that I'm dedicated to that. And I think at our level, particularly with the vast majority of the students we get at Glenville are West Virginia students in about a 12, 13 mile or county radius. So we get a lot of them, and we talk to them. I walk across campus, interact with the students. Where do you see your future? I always like to joke with them. I said, look across. I tell particularly the guys. I have a lot of fun with them. I said, look across that campus. They'll look across and they'll say, what? I says, your future wife's walking across that campus right now.
How do they react to that?
Yeah, well, they go, really? And I said, if it doesn't work out, your future ex-wife. But what? But it starts right there. It's interesting, guys, is that we have the 50th every year. We have the 50th anniversary of whatever class. For example, 2020 was in class of 70, and every year. And I asked them, how many of you had met your wife or your husband here on campus? About half of them raise their hand. There's 3 things we look at. Health and safety that I look at from 30,000 feet as president. First and foremost is health and safety for our students. We're going to spend $2.5 million for new lighting, cameras, to making our campus as safe as we possibly can. Secondly is a good quality education, getting the skills necessary to be successful in life. And the third, which is often overlooked, is a good college experience. That you can look back. I was in college 55 years ago, but as I look back, and the fun we had, and sometimes we didn't always do as well in the classroom as we should have, but
you were well-rounded.
I was well-rounded. and what I like to say is that what I always like to say and encourage, have a good time. This is the best years of your life. A lot of them won't believe that. But the third, as I just said, is a good quality, a good college experience, to having fun on for a football day or basketball or whatever. Go get involved, and you'll make a lifelong friends. I still have friends to this day that I met when I was in college over 55 years ago. So we want to encourage that. Have a great time. Go on. Be successful. We'll give you the necessary skills, but we can open the door. You've got to go through it.
If I didn't already have a wife and kids, I might re-enroll.
Well, I said we bring these guys on the show, whether it's you or it's Brad Smith, Mike Benson, and I'm like, get out of here before I end up re-enrolling in a program. Please.
I can make it happen for you.
I'm sure
we still have a few scholarships left.
Journalism. Dr. Mark Manchin, Glenville State University president. Hey, always fun to talk. Thank you for stopping by today.
Thank you all for taking the time. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Coming back, we'll get to some of your texts, 304 Talk 304. We'll put a wrap on this Tuesday at the Capitol. Back in a moment.
Getting ghosted is never fun, especially by your network. Cyber threats don't announce themselves. They slip in quietly, disrupt operations, and disappear before you know what happened. CityNet's cybersecurity services provide proactive monitoring, threat detection, and expert response, so your business stays connected and protected. Commit to a relationship built on trust and reliability. Learn more at citynet.net today. And remember, CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
At the Health Plan, we are here for you, and we have been one of the most trusted carriers for over 40 years. Headquartered right here in West Virginia, providing exceptional health coverage and local customer service.
The health plan, we are here for you.
Principal Greg Dosh of MTech.
Thanks to funding in part from West Virginia Lottery proceeds, we're expanding MTech with a new STEM edition.
Across West Virginia, opportunities like these are made possible when you play, helping to ensure more students can discover their future right here at home. For 40 years, proceeds from the West Virginia Lottery for education have totaled $4.1 billion. West Virginia Lottery, 18 plus to play responsibly.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Across West Virginia, hospitals are always here, healing, helping, and standing strong for our communities. Hospitals save lives and build livelihoods. They're among our largest employers, with a passionate workforce of 54,000 West Virginians. Hospitals are economic drivers, contributing close to $17 billion to our state's economy and working to ensure access to care for all. From life-saving moments to wellness support, West Virginia hospitals keep our state healthy, our families strong, and our future bright.
With Metro News Hotline. If it's trending, it's probably here.
So it's Dennis, it's Rodman degrees out there today.
Oh, that sounds really uncomfortable.
I know it does. I know it does.
Is that legal? Is that past FCC? I don't know if you're allowed to say anything's Rodman something. That's
it's Rodman degrees.
That's outside. Like saying it's awful Diddy out there. I don't know that we can do that.
Yeah. Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Trojan Landing Marine is now Charleston's newest power sports dealership.
We now feature a full line of sleek Suzuki street bikes and four-wheelers. We're now offering the innovative riding experience of Benda motorcycles. The next step in motorcycle evolution with all-electric Zero high-performance bikes. We've now got Segway vehicles starting as low as $10,000. Come in and check out our great selection of high-quality Benelli and Royal Enfield bikes. Visit Trojan Landing in Charleston, now your water, road, and dirt dealership.
Virginia. Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
304 Talk 304 is the text line. Jackpots are growing in West Virginia. Jackpots are on the rise every week. Powerball hits Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Mega Millions lights up Tuesdays and Fridays. That's 5 chances a week to get in on life-changing jackpots. Play in store and online, 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. The Powerball jackpot is $126 million. Mega Millions jackpot is $366 million. So go ahead, play today. Texter says, TJ's reply did not even address why an independent would even want to vote in a primary of a party they already rejected. Who pays for it? Don't enter into it. Not a bad dance around, though, says the texter.
Thank you.
Rebuttal? Okay.
I mean, look, I think they want to vote in it because of the fact you can be a conservative and not necessarily be a Republican. And when you have what Chazz was talking about, 10% of people steering the outcome. Look, I like the jungle primary idea. Put them all in the same primary. Republican, Democrat, Independent. Be done with it. I think Steyerwalt likes that. Doesn't Steyerwalt like that too?
Steyerwalt likes content and chaos, which I do as well.
I know you do.
Southern Coalfield voter here. Our local schools closed years ago. Nobody tried to save them. Now we have maybe 2 high schools in the whole county, and the kids have an hour bus ride. Southern citizens have zero empathy for anyone else going through these school closures. It's part of West Virginia's dying culture. Get over it. Thumbs up emoji, says the texter. My favorite part of Governor Morrissey's tax cut proposal is the full-time governor with countless staffers asking the part-time legislators with limited staffing to figure out where to make more budget cuts for yet another tax cut, says the texter. 304 Talk 304. Any movement on the cost of living adjustment bills? Anything that's got a financial note, a fiscal note on it is just now starting to move. I think I've checked the calendar. I think we're getting close to finishing all the budget presentations, because we're coming up on a couple of dates here. Saturday is the last day to introduce bills into the House. Well, first of all, halfway's Thursday. I believe Saturday, is it the 17th? Maybe it's Monday. I think the 17th. We're coming up on the deadline to introduce bills into the House, then the Senate. So we're coming up on a couple of deadlines to get things moving. So maybe we'll see some progress. I'd have to check on those cost of living adjustment bills. I'm a conservative Republican and agree wholeheartedly with Senator Mike Woelfel. I will not vote for any current senators until real issues like PEIA, child care, and foster care are addressed. My wife and I had to pay to raise our children. Why should we have to pay to raise somebody else's? Senator Willis, great explanation of the ICE cooperation bill. Simple to understand if someone was listening to your explanation and not trying to come up with a BS opposition to its use. Very well done. 304 Talk 304 is the text line. All right, tell you what, we'll get to a couple more texts. I got to read a couple of these before we get to them. Just trying to be prudent, as they used to say. We'll get to a couple more texts. We'll wrap up. Tell you what we are working on for the rest of the week down here at the state capitol. Dave and TJ, we're at the AARP broadcast location. We're back in a moment.
Since 1926, the West Virginia Hospital Association has been the collective voice of our state's hospitals. With a shared vision of strengthening communities, improving lives, and supporting our state's economic well-being, our member hospitals work every day to provide high-quality, accessible care. This year, we celebrate 100 years of a unified voice and our ongoing commitment to supporting our members in achieving a strong, healthy West Virginia.
A message from the West Virginia Hospital Association, online at wvha.org.
At Glenville State University, we are pioneers. With over 45 undergraduate degree programs, 17 NCAA athletic teams, and countless campus organizations and activities, we're here to help you build your story while becoming a part of ours. Glenville State University, your dream, your future, your story. Visit glenville.edu today for more information.
Every day in West Virginia, we play for something bigger.
As a mom, I play for her education.
I play because it helps provide care for the ones who care for us.
I play to help keep our parks beautiful.
Why I play? Because every play supports West Virginia's future, our students, our seniors, and our state parks. For 40 years, proceeds from the West Virginia Lottery have totaled nearly $13.7 billion. I play. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Start your new year off right with a new ride from Dan Cava GMC. Come explore our 2026 GMC Acadias. Spacious, smooth, and made for everyday life. It's truly a fan favorite. Drive into winter with a new 2026 GMC Sierra, now up to $12,000 off, or lease as low as $499 a month. So upgrade your ride this year with us at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop Thora.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown! We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
It's high school basketball season, and Metro News Television has you covered. Rivalries, buzzer beaters, classic hardwood competition. Watch live and on demand from gyms across the Mountain State. Stream Metro News Television on your iPhone, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select smart TVs. Or visit MetroNewsTV.com for more information. High school basketball lives here on Metro News Television.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
Talk 304. Texter writes, "Good morning. I've kind of quit listening to your show from the Capitol, but I heard this morning from your guest. Let's see what I learned. No bill to improve water quality in southern West Virginia. A bill which is about the same as another bill, which is about the same as another law on immigration, so just so this politician can put his name on it. Good. The SSAC, does it really need to be around, especially with a transfer referral? Working on a school funding bill. Who cares? Let's get the sports figured out first. Doesn't matter to me anymore. I've become apathetic. All my family's moved south, and I'm the last southern West Virginia living here. I'm the last of the southern West Virginias living here, so I'm good with our politicians. Sorry, I drank a bunch of coffee today."
A lot to process.
Well,
I'm glad they learned something, though.
Yeah, I'm glad you learned something on the show today. 304 Talk 34. Texter very helpfully sends along the legislative calendar for the session. We were right. 17th is the last day to introduce bills into the House. The 23rd for the Senate. When's crossover day? Bills coming out of committee has to be March 1st. 50th day, March 4th, is the last day bills can be read and get approved in their House of Origin. We're not that far away. I mean, look, it's second week of Valentine's Day Saturday. You better be on top of that, by the way.
Yes, I'm better.
That's coming up. So, I mean,
Is that saying you were on top of it?
Yeah, right. I'm on top of it, all right. Coming up, we are going to be talking to Roger Hanshaw tomorrow on the program. I can't believe we forgot about that being the one guest on the show tomorrow. He is going to join us. In fact, he's got a presser coming up just as soon as the floor session is over in the House. We'll talk to him about his assessment of the at the halfway point.
I'm eager to hear his presser today.
I'm anxious.
There you go.
We'll talk to you again tomorrow from the ARP broadcast location, Upper Rotunda, West Virginia State Capitol. Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.